Hello everybody, I'm Aaron Simmons, and this is Philosophy for Where We Find Ourselves, April 3rd, 2020. Today I want to talk to you about something that affects all of us, but it's also the kind of thing that we tend not to talk about very often because it's at the core of who we are, and that's character. Character is basically what animates us and drives us in a particular direction. It's what we might call our moral anchor, if you will. Now, when it comes to ethics, at least philosophically, there are three traditional modes of understanding moral life. One theory, which is sometimes called Deontology, is the view that ethics is really all about one's duty. Another way to think about this is it's about our intention. What is it we intend to do? Do we mean to do the right thing? The second version of ethics is what's sometimes called consequentialism. And this is unlike Deontology. We're not concerned with our intention, we're simply concerned with the consequences, the outcomes of our actions. And then the third mode of ethics is what's often referred to as virtue ethics. This is a theory that is grounded in the work of Aristotle, and the idea is that ethics is not about simply a particular action, like it seems to be often in deontology and consequentialism, but instead, ethics is about our very character. It's about who we are, not simply what we do. Now, of course, who we are and what we do are related. So what character means relative to virtue ethics is that we do the kinds of things that good people do. We develop habits, says Aristotle. And these habits become norms of behavior by which we then don't have to go through a long, complicated thought process to figure out what the right thing to do is. Instead, it becomes, we might say, our second nature. That our character ends up kicking in order to allow us to do the thing that good people do in particular circumstances. Now, two important points here. One, character is not simply something that we do by ourselves. It's something that we do as nested in and related to others in a community. Aristotle encourages us, in fact, to look for moral persons that can stand as exemplars of the right kind of character that we want then to embody ourselves. And when we find those people, the task is to try to emulate like they do, their actions, their lives, and their decisions. Now notice, they of course are going to have different moral dilemmas, different circumstances requiring actions and decisions to be made. So the point is not simply to look at their lives like a rule book, as would be the case in deontology, or simply to look at their lives such that we're trying to bring about the particular outcomes that they've yielded in their decisions, like would be the case in consequentialism. Instead, we look to their lives to find the virtues that they display. That they show good judgment, they show honesty, they show humility, they show an awareness of justice and how to seek it. Those become the character traits that we find correctly displayed in their lives, and those become the character traits that we want to form habits to then display in our own. Let me encourage you today to think a little bit about character, and to do it as an easy first step, simply think about who are those people in your own life, in your own community, in your world, that you think are the kinds of people you would want to try to be like. Not to do exactly what they do or to have the job that they have, but to display the kinds of character traits that animate their personality and define their moral identity. What character helps us think through and what Aristotelian virtue ethics helps us think about is the fact that we are tasked with becoming moral beings, not simply engaging in moral actions. Today, think about your character, become characters worth writing stories about. I hope to see you tomorrow, unless a piano falls on our heads.